Have you heard of the new dating trend? It's called zombied. Like instead of someone ghosting you, they zombied you.
I unfortunately saw Marielle, darling. Yeah. I did see her TikTok, and I get that she's a singer-songwriter, and I feel like she kind of just went with this because I feel like she's just trying to promote her new song. But I'm like, why do we have to coin a term for everything?
I know.
I do love the term ghosting, but this whole zombieing.
Is her new song called Zombie?
No, it's called Never Needed You. Oh. But I'm sure like whatever. It's out now, so you guys can stream it. I should have listened to it before. But I guess it kind of goes hand in hand about like, I got zombied. I didn't need you. I still don't need you.
So what does it mean? I feel like I like randomly kept seeing it.
So
and then like randomly there was like on the news they like interviewed her.
Yes,
and
I was
asking like what it was, and I was like, what is like?
Is the media really that bored
that they're like interviewing TikTokers asking them about random terms? But I saw that and I was like, what does zombie mean? So apparently it's like when you're dating a guy and he zombies you.
Yeah. So when he ghosts you and then he comes back from the dead, like either a few weeks, a few months, a few years, however long. And he just hits you up and tries to slither back in.
Oh.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again. I feel like it's happened to everyone. Like, once plan A doesn't work out, they go back to plan B. Like, I'm the backup.
Is that what you think it is?
I'm being zombied right now by my landlord.
You are being...
I'm kidding.
You are being zombied.
That's not quite it.
So, but do you think that's what it is, though? Like, if you're dating a guy... and things are going really well, and all of a sudden he's like starts ghosting, but then he comes back around in a few weeks. Like, do you think it's usually because
I think whatever he wanted to pursue didn't work out?
Okay, so you think that he ultimately was trying to hold that hope for someone else, or was pursuing something else more heavily. His plan A didn't work out, and now he's like crawling back to you, and you're the plan B. You don't think it's like anything else? I think I agree with you. I'm trying to think of like any other scenario, because I feel like everyone always makes it abundantly clear that men go for what men want. Like if a guy is interested in a girl, they're not like, didn't you and I used to say this? Like guys don't really play games. Like I feel like girls play games. Like if a man is interested in a woman, like he is probably just gonna pursue her. He's not like intentionally waiting 37 minutes to text her back, or, you know, intentionally waiting 4 days to call her for the next date to like play games or keep her interested. I feel like men, like if a guy's interested in you, he's just gonna like pursue you. And if he's not, right? Like I feel like
I think when a guy truly likes you, wants to get to know you, he's not gonna play games. But if a guy's playing games with you, that means he may be interested in you, but he's not sold on you. And he wants to explore other options. He's not putting all of his eggs in one basket yet. He doesn't want to be tied down to you. He doesn't want to get you too attached to the point where you're expecting good morning texts every morning.
So you like, it's almost like
keeping you from a distance.
He's keeping you at arm's length.
If he's playing games.
Okay. That's a really good point. And I do think that's like a key differentiator that is important, because it really is different. Like I think there's so many girls that I know, and like I feel like a lot of my friends right now who are single are kind of going through this, where if a girl is playing games, it might be because she's so interested in the guy that she's trying to like,
she doesn't want to blow it.
Yeah, or like she's trying to give off like the mysterious vibe and like not text him back too fast because she's like doesn't want him to think that she's too eager. But all this stuff is wrapped up around like, I don't want him to think this, or I want him to think this about me. And you're like obsessing over this guy, and you're like, all right, I'm going to make sure I wait enough time to text him back, or I'm going to make sure that I don't come off as too eager, or I'm going to post an Instagram this weekend, you know, with a big group of my friends, look like I'm having so much fun. So he sees it and gets jealous. Like, but everything you're doing is about him. And I feel like girls play games when they're so interested in a guy that they like they want the guy to like heavily pursue them, and they're trying to do things to like make them jealous or make them like obsess over them. But I feel like if a guy is doing it, to your point, he's not typically doing it for the same reasons. Whereas like I think a lot of girls might think that, like a single girl might think, oh, he waited a day to text me back. I wonder if it's because he's like trying to play games enough. Or he, you know, posted this. I wonder if he posted this Instagram with his friends to like make me jealous, or like posted this photo. And I feel like maybe there's guys like that. Like obviously there's exception to every rule, but I do think that on average it's probably like he's not thinking that way.
It's like
he doesn't
us
care.
Girls are so good at FBI agents. Like we could literally find out anything about anyone in like the matter of a minute. But the second we are provided with evidence that maybe he's just not into you, it's like, no. Let's come up with 1,000 excuses of why he's just taking his time, why he's just busy. He's not answering me. He's really just busy. He's so busy.
It is crazy, like the lengths that you'll go to in your mind to make excuses for people. You're like, well,
we've all been there though,
like
myself included.
No, we all have been. It's
all of us,
and it's crazy. Like I've done it before too. Like when like I was younger, or even when I first met Michael. Like you will make up excuses. You're like, well, he didn't. He sent me like a 1-word answer, but that must mean that like he wanted to send me a really long text, but he didn't because like he wanted like no matter what he does, like you can like spin it in a way where you're like, he's in love with me even if he's not.
To be delusional,
literally. But there's like something beautiful about that. Like to be that delusional, it's fun sometimes. You're like, all right, I'm just like literally losing it.
I think it's a defense mechanism.
You think so?
Yeah. Because we don't want to believe the truth.
Yeah, like he's just not that into you.
She also said, which she didn't coin, Peter Pan syndrome, but it's a great reminder that these men cannot grow up. And I feel like if a guy is zombieing you...
It just like sounds like weird or dirty.
I have nothing against this Marielle girl. She seemed really nice, sweet, whatever, good intentions. I have no idea who she is. I just don't think what she's trying to achieve is ever gonna happen. Like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yo, okay, I got it.
I love the term ghosting, ghosted. I think that's a phrase I will always use. Yeah. Maybe not when I'm 40, but like for the next decade. Like,
for at least the next decade, like I'm using that term.
I'm in there like swimwear.
For sure.
But you won't catch me saying, "Oh my God, were you zombied?" Like it's just like it's not coming out of my mouth.
It's cringe.
It's not. But
that's a good point. Like when you just said it like that,
it's not the
like,
same.
Oh my God, I'm being zombied right now by this guy. Like no, you'd be like, I'm being ghosted by this guy.
Yeah, but so ghosted, yes, but then the zombie is step 2 when they come back. And she said it's just a good reminder that these men cannot grow up. And I feel like if you are being zombied, you need to evaluate, like, how is he coming back from the dead? Like, is he giving you an excuse, or is he pretending like nothing happened? Because if he's pretending like nothing happened, like he actually has no respect for you. And if you don't have respect for yourself, like, do not let him back in.
True.
Don't let him back in. Fucking bury him.
Like, or is he giving you a reason?
Yeah. Like, what kind of reason would someone have to give? Okay, would you accept if someone was like, hey, sorry I ghosted you for the past 3 months. I was trying to see if things could work out with my ex, but they didn't. I really did like you. I just wanted to make sure that like that relationship was dead and gone. Like, could you respect the honesty, or is that too much honesty?
Okay, so if a guy I was talking to, and we just started it wasn't like a relationship.
Yeah.
We just started
like
talking,
you maybe went on like a couple dates.
We hit it off, and all of a sudden he like goes ghost.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, really sorry, I was kind of in a relationship, or no,
like he wasn't over his ex when he went out with you. He was broken up like with his ex.
Okay,
but he missed his ex, wanted to give it another shot with his ex, didn't work out.
It didn't work out, and now
he's crawling back.
But he's telling me this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Do you respect the honesty?
I do respect the honesty. Am I gonna take that? Probably not. But like, I think I really would respect that. If a guy genuinely like came to me and said, hey, here's the deal, I have too much respect for you to like lead you on or like continue talking to you or taking you on dates knowing I still had these like unresolved feelings and I needed to see those through.
But he ghosted you. You have to remember, he ghosted you. He didn't give you that excuse when he left.
Exactly.
He's giving the excuse when he returned.
That's a differentiator.
Yes.
If he says like, hey, like I stopped answering you because my ex came back into my life. I had unresolved feelings and I didn't think it was right to pursue, something new with you while I like worked this out and see if anything could happen with my ex. But like, to be honest, like it's over now. It's not going to happen. And I want to let you know, I really do like you. I can't stop thinking about you. I want to make it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm like thinking, he's like, I can't, if he was like, well, like I really like you and I want to like see if it, I almost respect
my
the
dumbass would be like, okay.
I know, like there's a part of me that's,
I'm like, so when we going out?
I'm like, no, like I'm totally the girl that I'd be like, oh, like I need something more extraordinary than that, like Bridget Jones style and just walk out of his life. But in reality, like the real dumb bitch would be like, oh my God, no, totally. And then in my head, I'd be like, he obviously was just like so into me that like he couldn't stop thinking about me when he was like talking to his ex and ended things with her because of me, even though it's not true. And I wouldn't see what's right in front of me, which is that I'm just like second pick.
That's
but I
the
do
delusion.
So delusional. But like, I will say though, regardless of whether or not I pursued that endeavor or not,
yeah,
I do respect the honesty. I think I'd rather that than a guy randomly. You know what? It's almost like disrespectful if a guy is like, you know, you're talking, things are going great. He goes ghosts for a few weeks, and then randomly on a Thursday night hits you up like, "What are you up to tonight?" Ugh. That's disgusting. Like, just why don't you just spit in my face and tell me that you have no respect for me? Like, you might as well. I think that is like in my mind the worst thing you can do. So the honest approach, like, will it always work? Maybe not. Like, you're probably gonna have some girls that, you know, will be like, okay, well, I respect the honesty, and you know, maybe he really does like me that much, because why would he reach out to me if he didn't still have feelings for me or didn't like want to pursue something?
Because he's bored.
And then I'm sure you'd have some girls that were like, no, like obviously a guy who is gonna ghost me to see if it could happen with his ex, even though he's being honest with me, like obviously there's like he didn't like me enough to just continue talking to me, like it's not gonna happen. But I think you probably have better odds in the honest with scenario honesty, than in like the whoa, what's up tonight like scenario.
Yeah, I think if you're zombied that way, don't answer.
It's so funny you bring this up because I have a friend and it's a similar situation except the reverse. So she was talking to a guy and they hit it off. They're in New York City. It's like they're at some like she's at some like party in like Brooklyn, and it's like a masquerade theme or like something cool. And she's like talking. She meets this guy. Very like instant attraction. They like dance the night away and they're texting after and they're like very into each other. He goes away on vacation. They're like talking. And very much like for 2 weeks, kind of like a whirlwind type situation. He's like calling her every night. He's like, I want you to come to New York. Like, I want to visit you in Boston, like all this stuff. And then he starts like getting a little like, not ghosting her, but you know, goes, I want to say, maybe a day or two without texting her back, and then like does text her back, but like more of a delay than normal. And then he comes out and he says, he's like, all right, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When you and I first met, I was just getting out of like a very, very long-term relationship. And like, I am single, like I was single, I am single. But there are still some unresolved feelings, like very, like literally the scenario you just gave me, which is so funny. He was like, there are some like, you know, unresolved feelings there. And he was like, I owe it, like my ex is kind of like sort of come back into my life, and I don't even know if like it's what I want to, you know, pursue a relationship with her, but I think I owe it to her and like to myself to, you know, maybe see if like there's something there. I'm not really sure, but I want you to know I really, really like you, and I don't think it's fair to you to continue talking to you with like, you know, potential unresolved feelings. But like I really like you, and if things don't work out, like I would want to pursue something with you because I really like have this like instant connection to you, and I like you, and like if it works out,
but not enough to
that's the thing,
close the door.
And in that situation, he got ahead of it, and he was just like, I want to let you know, my ex came back into my life. I don't even know if I want this. I don't know if I like her anymore. I'm just confused, but it's not fair to you to like continue talking every day that we have been, knowing that this is going on.
He wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Exactly. But like, and he really didn't, like, it's not like he continued like reaching out or anything. So it's like, I respect the honesty there, but I almost feel like I wonder if he was like leaving the door open so that like in a few months, if like things with him and his ex don't work out, he can like come crawling back into her life and being like, hey, like couldn't stop thinking about you. You know what I mean? At that point, and it's like, but then it's like he got ahead of it and was honest with her and didn't ghost her. Like he just hit her straight.
Has he hit her up since?
No, he hasn't.
How long has it been? A while?
It's been like probably like 2 months.
Oh, okay. So there's still time.
Well, right. But like what I'm saying is in this scenario, he didn't ghost and he got ahead of it, but still the honesty, like, would you want to hear that? Would you want to hear that? Or would you rather a guy just goes like, oh, like I'm not ready for like whatever, or like just ghosts you? Like what is truly better? Is it better to hear, hey, I like you, but not enough, and have unresolved feelings for my ex, or is it better to just be ghosted and sit there making up excuses about how maybe he lost his phone and it fell into, it fell over the Brooklyn Bridge, and like he didn't have her number like saved on his other phone, and like he's been trying to contact her and he can't find her. Like what's better?
I feel like my feelings are going to be hurt either way, and whatever I tell you, I would contradict myself if the other happened. I think if I got ghosted, I'd be like, oh, I just want to know. But if I knew, I was like, I wish I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I just think if you get ghosted, don't let them back in. Don't let them back in.
And we all say that we'd be the people that didn't ghost, right? But like I've ghosted. Like, I think we all have. We all have, because like there's sometimes you're like, I don't know this person. I know I don't like them. And I don't know if I owe them an explanation for not liking them. So I do respect people that are honest. Like, I did respect his honesty. And I think in my friend's situation, she's like, I respect how honest he was with me. He literally hit me so straight. Like, I don't think he was lying.
I actually don't think I've ever been honest with a man in my
life. You're like, I've never been honest. Like, not even with my boyfriend.
like guys that I've talked to, I don't think I've ever been honest about anything.
I don't think anyone is really honest at that stage.
I'm a ghoster, I think.
You're a ghoster? You think you're the ghoster?
I'm a ghost.
I think if you go on one date with someone, you don't owe them a follow-up. If it's 2 dates or more, or 3 dates, like maybe there needs to be some level of like, you're not into it anymore. Maybe you owe them some sort of like a, hey, I'm not ready right now, or I'm not in an emotional place for you, or blah, 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 blah. One date I really think is like, that is a meet and greet. Like you are meeting, you're seeing if they're a serial killer. You're having a baseline conversation. You're seeing if they look like
their photos in real life.
You're seeing if they can carry on a conversation. You're seeing if they're lying about being 5'10", and like that is really what a first date is. It's like a general like assessment to fact check and see if they can carry on a normal conversation. I think if you do not text someone back after a first date, that's okay. I don't think you owe them follow up, unless it was like the best first date, like known to man, and it was like the vibes were there, and you guys went out to drinks after, and you were like, oh my god, this is amazing, we have to do this again, and you're like making moves to like hang out again, and he texts you when you get home. Fine. But like the average first date, you meet at a bar, you grab a drink, you're like, this was a really good time, and you leave and you don't text them again. I don't think you owe that person anything. I really, really, truly don't. I think dates 2, 3, 4, etc. like maybe you can give them a little bit of a white lie. I think if you've been going on more than like 3 dates with someone over the course of like, let's say it's like your 3rd or 4th date and it's been a few weeks and you've been like texting nonstop, then you ghost. I think that's when it becomes a little bit like, maybe you owe them something. Not saying you owe them like your life story, but like, I think you might owe them maybe a little bit of a white lie. Something to appease them. Something so that they can go to bed that night feeling like, all right.
I just don't want men to go to bed happy though.
Okay, so you would rather them like sit there wondering what happened.
Yeah.
To all the boys I've ghosted before.
Make
that into a movie.